Hey you guys, what's up? This is A Noel. Thank you so much for those who have already liked, subscribed, all that good stuff. If you are just stumbling through, you are embarking on my 6-month transformation. This is week 2. And I have to say, I learned very quickly, oh Lord, this week alone, putting that first video out there to see the warm response and people from my friendships, like from years ago, reaching out to me, saying how inspired they are. When I tell you I'm so appreciative and I'm over the moon, I truly mean that. It has been a beautiful week and an enlightening week, and also terrifying. And I really feel the love, but also the things that I'm going through. I definitely feel the spiritual growing pains. I definitely feel the growth happening in my life. I was going to originally share one of my favorite trails and stuff that I would go on just to like clear my mind and work out and all that stuff, but with everything going on this week, I felt like that would have been just tone deaf. It would have been very irresponsible for me to do so. If my setup looks different, because it is different, I'm actually I'm on location, on location working, and it's interesting because while this is a dream come true for me to be able to work on a production that I absolutely love and working with people whom I absolutely love, the things I've seen with the police brutality, with the gun violence, with losing our people, and I mean our people, I mean American people. And you can clearly see in the media this, it's really heartbreaking because I feel like I'm in a constant battle between living out my dreams and then seeing like on social media and seeing in the news like another young man getting shot by police. And then I see, not to get too into my business and involving other people, but then I see things that my own bosses are going through just to make it. It's weird because I'm like, as happy as I am, sometimes I feel guilty. It's almost like a survivor's guilt, because it's like I'm grateful, but then like, what about them? Like why is this a constant state of rage that I have to be in? Growing up and being in, like, growing up as a military brat, growing up from that to living in the hood for a very short time. And then from that to going to the suburbs. And to see the treatment my friends and I've received from going to predominantly white schools. Let me be clear, predominantly white schools. And the prejudice as I get older, the only thing I can really do is I hope and I pray that the outside, like this, like the skin color, my hair, it shouldn't determine if I'm a good person or not. But we keep getting these images reinforced in the media and reinforced in our social media and on TV and on the news, that these are the statistics, and my question is, where do we go from here? I see the prejudice and the racism in my workplace. I see the prejudice and racism prevalent in my life. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I am constantly sad or bedridden or whatever. No, like in the first video, when I said that I love my life, I really do. I have a great group of friends. But even in living out my dream, especially this past week, working on something that is just completely amazing, I still see what my higher ups are going through. I see and I witness their trauma, and I witness my own trauma of not being seen as good enough, not being seen as valuable. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Being in particular, because I am in the industry, in the film industry, it can be rather difficult. And with that said, I am so determined to be that change, regardless of how long it takes. I don't even think I'm going to see the complete change in my lifetime, but God willing, if I can just push the needle a little bit further, being able to share stories, and like not just like, oh, detrimental Black life, blah blah. No, just share real stories, like happy stories, and showing Black people falling in love, and it has nothing to do with being Black. It's just falling in love. Sharing beautiful stories just because they're beautiful. Sharing happy, funny stories just because they're happy and funny. as hurt and sad I am, I'm also hopeful. Because at the very least, I can say that I've done my best. But I do want to say this. Our mental health and our spiritual health is so important. Take the time to get away from social media. You don't have to prescribe to Black trauma all the time. That's not healthy. It's not. Sometimes I don't even know. I don't know how I do it sometimes. Clicking on the news or going on social media. Oh, another police killing. Oh, another gunman on the loose. And still having to deal with that. Brush my teeth, take a shower. And it's almost like it's purposeful to reinforce, like, oh, see, you don't matter. Or, oh, see, here's another one. Almost as if to provoke a war. I choose not to prescribe to that narrative. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So I'm saying all that to say what I've learned so far is that it's more important than ever to protect your heart and your mind and really do an audit of who's around you, who edifies you, who lifts you up. I fortunately don't have my journal with me, but I took the time to write down every person in my life who has blessed me and who has comforted me and who has loved me purely on who I am, not what I look like. And y'all, if y'all can help it, please hold on to those people who truly love you and believe their narrative about you. Believe what they say about you. And be a real and true friend. Now, for those, especially those who consider themselves people of colors, but especially my Black folks, we have a duty to ourselves to take care of ourselves and our mental health. Because this is psychological. And if we keep seeing the same narrative all the time, we start believing that to be true. Mm-mm. I know I'm rambling, but that's my truth. Everything you see in the video, that's the truth, and I'm sticking to it. Protect your mind and your heart and your soul. Cling on to things that is true and good. And I will be linking some resources down below to protect your spiritual and your mental health. Because those things, to me, are the most important things. Because if your mind is right and your heart is right and your spirit is pure, everything else falls into place. If you need to talk to someone, if you need to vent to somebody, do it. If you're feeling low, if you're feeling like the world is just crashing upon you, don't hold that stuff in. Because this world out here is so crazy. They'll make you think that you're not worthy and that you're not good enough, and that's not even true. And I see it out here all the time. You see people, you see names, big names. You see people who are connected with big companies and big industry, like big production companies, stuff like that, and they miserable as they close themselves off. They don't have real people around you. You better find your real people around you. And I'm grateful that I have my real friends, my true friends. Because this world is so unkind. If you need to talk to somebody, definitely, I'm linking some resources down below in the description box. And also, if you feel like you really don't have nobody, you can reach out to me. Because you're not alone. We all hurting and we all need to heal. Now, I'm not no life coach or anything like that. I just share what I know. And a lot of it is advice from my big sister, Shani. So when you're speaking to me, you're basically speaking to her.